From Heritage, it comes to, this is Kabalagala Junction, as you may see, my lord. As it's proceeding now towards Arena Mall. That is the vehicle now at sharing, Zambia sharing. And that is the vehicle at Arena Mall. Traffic lights. It takes the direction of Mukwano Road and arrives here at Electoral Commission, my lord. From Electoral Commission, Shell Ginger Road is right here, my lord. So the vehicle branched to Shell Ginger Road, maybe also known as Kitugumu House. So that is now the camera at Shell Ginger Road, my lord. That is how the vehicle arrived at Shell Ginger Road. The suspect was driving it disembarks. He interacted with the staff of Shell. The suspect of Shell now, the staff at Shell now enters in the vehicle. Then the suspect participated in the activity of pushing that same motor vehicle. While being assisted by other staff at Shell Ginger Road, my lord. And they pushed it to the parking within there, my lord.
You play on, but we see the activity.
That is the suspect you're seeing, my lord. That is the other staff at Shell. Another staff joined. That is now the point where they began pushing. The suspect himself started pushing the vehicle. Then other staff joined and pushed that vehicle. My lord, from there, that is where the activity of first ends. We come to the second day. This is where I sighted him, my lord, on this camera. After identifying the dressing code. After his arrest, my lord.
Is it zoomable?
Yes, my lord.
Can you try to zoom it for court?
So at that point, my lord, you see the suspect with the backpack, putting on the black glasses. the sunglasses.
Mu kiseera ekyo olaba suspect oyo yali ng'aweese ensawo ng'era ayambadde ne gaalubindi ezaali enzirugavu.
This camera is installed at Ggaba bypass road.
Nga kamera eyo eri ku Ggaba
As you're coming towards Wayne's Medical Center.
ng'ojja paka ku ddwaliro lya Wentz.
It's about 1 kilometer from the scene of incident, my lord.
Ng'eringa kilomita emu paka okusiini oba okubattira abaana.
That is the opposite camera now showing the suspect on a border heading towards the scene, my lord.
Kamera ng'era eraga suspect ng'agenda ku siini kwennyini.
From there, my lord, it was at 10:16. The next activity you see is the victims being brought to Wayne's Medical Center, my lord, at 11:20.
Kati awo akatambi kali kakalaga abaana abo abali baatemulwa ku ssaawa 5 nga baleetebwa ku ddwaliro eyo ku ssaawa 5:2.
The first victim was brought at 11:20.
Era victim yasooka yaleetebwa ku ssaawa 5:2.
Second victim was at 11:22.
Nga victim omulala owookubiri wali wamaze okuyitawo eddakiika 2.
Then the third victim was at 11:24.
Omulala yali baamuleeta ku ssaawa 5:24.
My lord, that is the first victim as you see here.
Nga yoyo victim asooka nga bamuleese.
Was rushed to the emergency room. The spare person returns. One was carrying the first victim.
Era omuntu eyo yali asitudde omwana oyo n'akomawo.
At 11:22, my lord, that is the second victim.
Ssaawa 5:22 ne baleeta victim omulala oba omwana omulala.
That is the third victim now being brought at 11:24.
Nga era omwana
Here.
yali owookusatu nga naye aleetebwa ku ssaawa 5:24.
My lord, that is all about the footages at Wayne's Medical Center and all the movements of the vehicle, my lord.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much, my lord.
Can you resume our seats?
My lord, that should be it from the witness.
Miss Sarah or Mr. Kumbuga, who is going to cross-examine, how long do you think it will take? Because I wanted us to have a health break. Okay, let's have him cross-examine and then we can take a health break. May I please have my exhibit? May I please have my exhibit?
Hey, the flash.
Yeah.
Can you return the flash? Oh, you wanted to?
Cross-examine him on it? No.
Let's cross-examine.
Okay. Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon, my lord.
On your findings at 5-6. It's page what? Page 8/41. Page 8.
Yes, on page 8.
5-6.
5.6, right?
Private cameras at Renewal Circle located behind the scene of the incident were not operational during the morning hours of 2nd April 2026, but resumed recording at 12:52, 22 hours in the afternoon. Were you given any explanation as to why these cameras were not operational in the morning hours?
My lord, since I interacted with the system myself, I established there was a power breakout at that time.
Abuzigwe ekibuuzo nti ku kamera za renewal sako ez'obwannannyini nti lwaki kamera ezo zaali tezikola mu ssaawa ez'okumakya wabula zaddako wakati ssaawa 6:52 ye n'agamba mu kuzuula kwe yali yazuula nti ekiseera ekyo ssaawa amasannyalaze gaali tegaliiko.
And are you aware that was the time that the alleged incidents occurred?
Yes, my lord.
Then from the recordings, the camera recordings, were you able, if even you zoom, that is on the first, were you able to identify a face? Could you identify any face from the camera recordings?
Which camera recordings is specific?
The one from first and throughout, from the time the vehicle was moving, total bullying, all throughout on first. I think the question is, were you able to identify the face of the person that was driving that vehicle? That vehicle.
From the cameras at Renewal Circle and at Shell, I was able to identify you.
As I was watching the video, it was too dark for any of us to identify. We could not even identify the...
Maybe that was the viewers from the screen and the light effect, but it's clearly seen in my laptop.
Mr. Mwaganya, do your colleagues have a copy of the flash? Do they have a copy of the flash? No, my lord. I think you need to give them a copy. Later, even when they are doing their submissions. Any more questions? Just one now. From your analysis, when he was driving throughout in your camera, could you identify that the driver or any of the drivers in those vehicles could have a mental illness just from seeing the cars move? That is a very strange question to a CCTV.
My lord, maybe what I can say is that the driver was very conscious and observing traffic regulations, could stop at the traffic lights to show that the lights are red, not allowing him to proceed. And once they go green, he was able to proceed and he could not knock anyone on the way.
Yabuziddwa nti oba yali amanyi nti ekiseera ekyo amasanyalaze gataliiko ekikolwa ekyo ekyali kyakolebwa, n'agamba nti yali akimanyi, n'agamba nti yali yakozesa, ne bamubuuza nti recordings ze yali yeekebejje mu nnaku z'omwezi nga lumu ogwokuna omwaka guno, nti oba yali yasobola okubeera ng'afunako feesi ey'omuntu oyo, n'agamba nti ye ng'akozesa kamera za renewal sako n'eza share okusobola okutegeerako omuntu oyo. Lawyer w'omusibe n'agamba nti ye okusinziira ku katambi kalabe wano mu kkooti nti ko kabadde nga kalidde kubanga kagabye nga talaba bulungi, n'amuddamu n'amugamba nti kati kibadde kiva ku light oba ku kitangaala ne maybe wabadde atudde. N'ayongera ne bamubuuza nti okusinziira ye mu katambi ako yali asobola okutegeera nti drive oba yalina obuzibu ku bwongo bwe. N'addamu n'amugamba nti okusinziira drive oyo oba suspect oyo engeri gyali avugamu emmotoka eyo yali agivuga bulungi ng'era ku bitaala nga bwe kibeera nga kikya ready nga drive oyo ayimirira nga bwe kiraga green oba kiragala nga drive oyo agenda ng'era yali tatomera muntu yenna.
So, my lord. Any re-exam, Mr. Mwakana?
No, my lord.
AIP Odong, thank you so much.
Most obliged, my lord.
Could we take a health break of 15 minutes and return at 1:45?
Kkooti egenda kuwummulamu eddakiika 15.
background of what?
The background of
camera that aided your further investigations?
My Lord, I was able to see features like the spare tire, which was behind, and the color of that specific motor vehicle, my Lord.
The color and what else?
The spare tire, which is behind.
You may not need to mention the name of the police camera. Just tell us it is seen here, seen there, seen there.
Hello. Yes. Get ready.
Criminal Section number 132 of 2026, Uganda versus Christopher Okello Onyum.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please speak to the microphone. What's your name?
I am Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Mutaka Jim.
Is that microphone working?
My Lord, I am Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Mutaka Jim. Mutaka Jim.
How do you spell Jim?
J-I-M.
How old are you, sir?
32 years old.
And what is your religion?
I'm a Muslim.
We're going to affirm and answer some questions.
I, Detective Assistant Inspector of Police Mutaka Jim, solemnly affirm that the evidence I shall give touching the matter now before court shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Mr. Mutaka, you say you're 32 years. What do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer attached to Kabalagala Police Station as Division Senior Crime Officer.
You're going to speak a bit louder. For how long have you worked at Kabalagala as a soko?
9 months. 9 months.
And for how long have you been working as a soko in police generally?
For the last 4 years.
What are your duties as soko?
As a senior crime officer, 1, I process any scene of crime. In processing, I mean I document the scene of crime, not the sketch, recover exhibits.
We are going to remind you that we are writing, so be mindful of that fact. Just repeat that.
My role as a senior crime officer, I document the scene of crime.
What you document before you visit?
I visit the scene of crime. I process the scene of crime and document it.
Yes.
I recover exhibits from the scene of crime.
Yes.
I draw the sketches at the scene of crime.
Yes.
I ensure that the exhibits recovered from the scene of crime are handed over to the respective investigating officers to be delivered for analysis.
And how do you document?
By documentation, I mean I document by taking photographs at the scene of crime. And also by not taking.
Okay.
And lastly, by sketching.
Interpret.
Yagambye amannya ge ayitibwa Mutaka Jim ng'era alina emyaka 32 nga musiraamu era nayongera n'agamba nti musirikale wa poliisi ng'akolera ku poliisi y'e Kabalagala nga ye omirimu gy'akola ye musirikale wa poliisi abakola kunoonyereza mu kifo ekyo abawaddizibwa omusango ogwo ng'era poliisi y'e Kabalagala yakakolerawo emyezi 9 naye omulimu gw'okunoonyereza mu bifo abawaddiza omusango poliisi yakagikolera emyaka 4 n'agamba emirimu gye ye nga gy'akola agenda mu kifo ekyo babawaddizibwa omusango oba ku siini n'agamba nti nno ku siini eyo afunawo ebizibiti by'abeera asanzeewo n'agamba nti nno era akubawo sikeeki oba ebifaananyi bya siini engeri baba bafaananamu n'agamba nti nno ebizibiti by'abaafunyeewo abiwa abasirikale ababakola kunoonyereza ku musango ogwo naye bekebejja n'agamba nti nayongera n'agamba nti era akuba n'ebifaananyi ng'akozesa zikamera n'agamba nti era abaako n'ebyabawandiise ye n'omukono gwe ebyo byabeera azudde ku siini eyo.
I also do report writing and I submit them to case files.
Samtaka, how are you in position to identify reports, scene of crime reports authored by yourself?
Yes, my lord.
I'm saying how, I asked. How are you in position to identify scenes of crime reports that you author?
My scenes of crime report bear my particulars, my names, and my signature.
In this particular case before court, what role did you play?
In this particular case, I visited the scene of crime. I processed the scene of crime.
Okay. This is the scene of crime. Where was the scene of crime?
I want you, as you speak, to imagine you are writing your words. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult.
In this particular case, I visited the scene of crime at Early Childhood Development in Ggaba. I processed the scene of crime. After processing, I made a scene of crime officer report. All of the recovered exhibits, after recovering them, I handed over to the investigating officer for further management.
What did you do? You made a report, and then after that?
After making a report, I'm saying I made a report. After making a report, all the recovered exhibits I recovered from the scene, I handed them over to the investigating officer.
I want you to look at the document and tell court if you recognize it. Let's save time, please.
My lord, I recognize the document before me as a crime scene examination report on the alleged case of murder.
Was it made by you?
My lord, the report was made by me because it bears my signature and my particulars.
In respect of which case?
In respect of the alleged case of murder by the Ggaba police station, CRB 026 of 2026.
Could you please interpret that?
agambye nti nno waba amaze akomekeza ng'akoze alipoota ne abuuzibwa nti alipoota asobola atya okutegeera nti ye n'agamba asobola okugitegeera ng'alabyeko amannya ge ne we yateeka omukono n'agamba ye ku musango guno gwennyini oguli mu kooti yagenda mu kifo ekyo ewaddizibwa emusango ogwo ku Early Childhood Development Center Development ekisangibwa e Ggaba n'agamba era ne yeekebejja ekifo ekyo kyennyini n'akola alipoota ku ebyo bye yazuula ng'era n'ebizibiti bye yajja mu kifo ekyo n'abiwaayo ku musirikale yakola kunoonyereza mu musango guno oguli mu kooti n'ayongera n'agamba nti alipoota eyo emuweereddwa yeyo yennyini eyiye kubanga kuliko amannya ge naawe yateeka omukono gwe ku guno omusango oguli mu kooti ogw'okutta ogwali ogwa CRB namba 26 ey'omwaka gwa 2026.
My Lord, I pray to tender the report as an
What is the date of the report?
I wrote the report, I printed it on the 10th of April 2026.
Who is responding? Mr. Welo? Any objection?
Lord, we have no objection.
Agambye nti alipoota eyo yagikola ng'ennaku z'omwezi 10 omwezi ogwokuna omwaka gwa 2026 era oludda olw'omusibe ne tebakawanyiza alipoota eyo okuweebwayo mu kooti ng'ekizibiti oludda oluwaabi.
Mr. Jim, where is the date on this report?
My Lord, it was a typo.
What is the typo?
My Lord, it was a typing error.
Where is the
Where
date?
is the typo?
Well, it was supposed to be on the first page, but it was missed out.
So it is on which page? Doesn't have a date.
It's my Lord.
Is it a typo or you omitted the date? Which one are you telling for?
My Lord, the date was just missed out.
It was missed out or you did not put it?
My Lord, the date was missed out in the typing.
Okay, I have admitted this report and it is marked PEX 10.
Kkooti ekkiriza alipoota eyo ng'ekizibiti eky'ekkumi eky'oludda oluwaabi.
Do you need this?
My Lord, he could work through our copy if court is okay with it.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mutaka, I want you to tell court what happened on the 2nd April 2026.
My Lord, on the 2nd of April
Try to
2026.
speak through the microphone because what you're saying is being recorded.
My Lord, the report, my Lord, on the 2nd of April 2026, at about 11:30, 100 hours, I was instructed by the Divisional CID Officer Kamalagala Detective S. James, Detective ASP S. James, to respond together with the homicide team to a crime scene of suspected murder
Where was the crime scene?
at Early Childhood Development Program Daycare Center. At Ggaba in the division in the Kampala district.
What did you do upon receiving those instructions?
My Lord, following the communication, I organized the SOCO components and kit. And the team that comprised of myself and the detective and the C. Adero Esther.
Where and what followed after organizing the team and your kit?
My Lord, immediately we joined the homicide team and he responded to the crime scene on UP 00203. My Lord, on arrival,
Please interpret.
agambye ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 omwezi ogwokuna mwaka gwa 2026 ku ssaawa 5:3 yafuna ebiragiro okuva ewa mukama we ow'Kabalagala ku poliisi ayitibwa James okubeera ng'agenda ku ssiini oba awewattibwa abaana ku Early Childhood Development Center esangibwa Ggaba mu division y'e Makinde mu district y'e Kampala. Ye era n'ayongera n'agamba nti ye bwe yakola nti yafuna ebyo ebintu by'aba alina okuba ng'akozesa mu kifo ekyo n'agamba n'afuna ne ttiimu ye ng'era kwaliko n'omukyala ayitibwa Esther.
So what happened on arrival?
my Lord, on arrival, our team was engaged by the charity committee members.
Sorry?
I'm going to request you one more time to use the microphone.
My Lord, on arrival, our team was engaged by the charity committee members who had turned very angry and aggressive.
Take us to the crime scene. What you did as a SOCO.
My Lord.
Okay, so what did you find? Let's complete that. What did you find at the crime scene? No, I'm not asking you to read anywhere. I'm asking you to tell court what did you find.
My Lord, on our arrival, we found a highly charged mob who are very angry and aggressive with the intention of reaching the suspect.
And where was the suspect at that time when you arrived?
My lord, the suspect was already arrested and was already in the sentry box or the guard house.
Did you establish who had arrested the suspect?
My lord, the suspect was arrested by the security guards of Ggaba Community Church.
So take court to your observations at the scene, your personal observations at the scene when you arrived.
My lord, observations and the crime scene examinations.
Where did you include that in your report?
It is on page 5, my lord.
On page?
Page 5.
Paragraph?
Paragraph 4.1.
What did you observe at that scene?
My lord, observed that the primary scene was at Early Childhood Development Program daycare located along Ggaba Community Church.
Why do you call it a primary scene?
My lord, you call it a primary scene because part of the deceased bodies were not at that point.
Why is it a primary scene?
It is a primary scene because it was the seat of crime where the incident happened.
Proceed.
Please proceed.
I see that the primary scene was at Early Childhood Development Program daycare located along Ggaba Community Church. Ggaba Makinje.
Interpret that, please.
Agambye nti ye ne timu bwe baatuuka mu kifo ekyo nti basangawo abantu ng'olwedde bakambwe nga bo bayinza edda nga baagala okubeera nga batuuka ku suspect oyo eyali olwedde yali akwatiddwa ne baggaadi abaali bakuuma ekifo ekyo abaali Ggaba Community Church era ye bye yazuula mu kifo ekyo oba ku siini eyo ku Early Childhood Development Center awo suspect we yali yattira abaana.
Okay, proceed.
My lord, on page 6 I attached a photograph of the general view of the area.
Yes. Did you make any other description of the scene?
Yes, my lord. The daycare school consisted of one building facing the southern direction, sheltered in a perimeter fence built using both chain link in the west and a wall fence in the southern end.
Any other observation?
My lord, access to the premises was through a gate which opens to the church road along the southern perimeter Some parts of the compound was cemented, while the remaining section has a green carpet resembling green grass. My lord, I attached a photo showing the gate.
That's on page 7?
Yes, my lord. Page 7.
Agambye mu page ey'omukaaga mu alipoota ye yasobola okuteekako ekifaananyi ekyo kye yakuba mu kifo ekyo ekyaddeke ku ssomero eryo n'agamba nti ekizimbe ekyaliwo kyali kizimbe kimu ng'era kyali kitunudde kyemmanga ng'era kyaliko ne fensi. Nayongera n'agamba nti okuyingira ekitundu ekyo obeera oyitira mu geeti ey'essomero eryo nga ekula oluyinga edda ku lwa kyaki ku kkubo. N'agamba era nayo yali etunudde ekyemmanga. N'agamba nti munda mu kitundu ekyo ebitundu ebimu byalina kapeti ng'eringa efaanana ng'omuddo, ebitundu ebirala byolwedde baali babisementinga ng'era yakuba n'ekifaananyi kitundu ekyo ng'era bisangibwa ku peegi ey'omusanvu mu alipoota ye.
Proceed, Mr. Mukada.
Inside the perimeter stood a building consisting of 6 rooms, of which two of them were offices. Inside the perimeter stood a building consisting of 6 rooms, of which 2 of them were offices. Other 2 rooms were resting area for the infants.
Yes.
Another room was being used as a classroom, and the last one was a kitchen area facing the west towards the area which acted as a playground for the young ones.
Let's proceed, please.
Agambye munda yasangamu ekizimbe nga kirina ruumu 6 oba ebisenge 6 nga ku ruumu 2 kwezo ezimu zaali zikozesebwa nga ofiisi, endala ruumu 2 bwe zaali zikozesebwa nga ruumu abaana mwe baali bawummulira, then ruumu endala emu kyali kibiina, then ruumu endala baali bakozesa okubeera nga bafumbiramu emmere ewaali watunudde oluuyi abaana gye baali bazannyira.
Yes.
My lord, on page 8 I attached the 2 photos showing the resting room, the interior of the resting room, and the playground plus the 2 rooms. My lord, on page 9 I observed suspected blood stains were observed at different spots on the compound.
What else apart from the suspected blood?
And it appeared dry, while some stain smears were visible on the green carpet. There were scattered kid toys all over the playgrounds. My lord, I also attached a photo showing the details.
What are the details in the photo?
The details in the photo, my lord, I have the markings of the different spots of blood stains marked as 7, 14, 8, 5,
7,
14, 8, and 5.
Agambye ku page ey'omunaana nga kuliko ebifaananyi ebyo ebyali biraga abaana bwe baali bawummulira ne bwe baali bazannyira ne roomu endala ziri 2. N'agamba nti ku page ey'omwenda yalaga compound eyo mwe yasanga omusaayi ne ku kapeti eyo yasanga gwe yali atebeezikwera nago nga musaayi, ng'era mu bifaananyi ebyo yamakingawo we yasanga omusaayi namba 7, 14, 8 ne walala 5.
What else did you observe?
My lord, on the veranda in front of one of the resting room was something covered with a white and blue flat bed sheet.
What was that thing?
And on uncovering it was a body of a male juvenile found lying in a prone position.
Male juvenile?
Male juvenile found lying in a prone position.
In a what?
In a prone position, prone.
Please interpret that.
Agambye nti ku kabalaza okumpi ne ruumu abaana mwe baali bawummulira yasangawo omwana omuto eyali omulenzi we yali yeebakidde oluuyi lumu.
Is everything all right?
Mr. Mutaka, just for the record, what do you mean by prone position?
Prone position, I mean it was lying on the back side, facing up.
Omwana oyo yali yeebase naye ng'atunudde waggulu.
Omwana oba omulambo?
Omulambo gw'omwana.
Yes.
My lord, on page 10, I indicated a photo, a marked photograph of that particular body.
What is the mark?
It was marked 3.
Page eya 10 yakuba ekifaananyi ky'omubiri gw'omwana oyo eyali erwedde afudde n'akimakinga 3.
Did you get to identify whose body it was?
Yes, my lord. Further, my lord.
Under which paragraph?
Under paragraph 4.7.
Whose body was it?
Said the body of the deceased was
I'm not Mr. Witness. Now you are not going to read. This court can read. Okay? You are here to testify. Okay. So avoid reading further. Just follow and provide the explanation. Okay? So whose body was it?
The body was the body of Odeke Ryan.
Interpret that, please.
Agambye nti akkiriza nti ye yasobola okutegeera omubiri gw'omugenzi oyo ng'era yali omwana omuto yali ayitibwa Odeke Ryan.
What else did you observe?
The body was...
I have finished the body of Ryan. Okay. What else?
My lord, within the compound, the different stains of suspected blood were also uniquely marked as 5, 7, 8, 9, and 14 respectively.
Which page is that, sir?
What
Page 13.
No, what happens with page 11 and 12?
On page 11, there is a photo showing a close view of the body and its mark.
On page?
11.
In what state?
It was marked in situ.
Still the body of Ryan?
Yes, my lord.
On page 11?
Yes, my lord.
In what state is that photo?
The photo was taken in situ.
Meaning?
What do you mean?
In situ, I mean before opening the body and the thorough examination. It was taken in situ before we could open it.
Situ means as found.
As found.
agambe ku page ey'okumi era yakuba ekifaananyi ky'omwana oyo omugenzi ng'omubiri ogwo gw'omugenzi we baagusanga.
About on page 12.
My Lord, on page 12, I attached 2 photographs showing the details of the body and the details of the cutting around the right side of the neck.
Then ku page ey'12 mulimu ebifaananyi bibiri ebyali biraga omubiri gw'omugenzi gw'omwana oyo bwe baali bamusala ku bulago ku luuyi olwa ddyo.
How did you deal with the body of Ryan?
My Lord, reference blood samples were taken from the cut neck area by swabbing.
Under which paragraph you reflect that?
That is 4.9.
What did you do under 4.9?
At 4.9, we swabbed the cut neck area and took biological samples from the body. The samples were marked respectively as 3-2 and 3-1.
Tibasobola okujja omusaayi ku mwana oyo awe baali bamufumita oba baali bamusala ne bazitwala okubeera nga bazeekebera.
They were marked as
3-2 and 3-1.
Era sample ezo nalo ne bazimaakira.
Mr. Mutaka's Soko, why did you find it necessary to swab the body?
We found it necessary to swab the body. One was to lift the DNA of the deceased, and the second was to lift any foreign DNA found on that body.
we did the swab so as. Repeat that, please.
I think that the 2 swabs were taken. One to take the DNA sample of the deceased, and another swabbing was done to lift any foreign DNA found on that body.
Gambe nti bakisanga nti kya mugaso okujja omusaayi ku mwana oyo okusobola okutegeera nti oba ogwo omusaayi gwali gugwe yennyini oba gwali gwa muntu mulala.
So apart from you swabbing the body, what else did you do?
The clothing of the deceased were marked and recovered.
Which one happened first?
The clothes of the deceased were also identified as items of evidence.
Mr. Mutaka.
Yes, sir.
Which happened first?
We recovered the clothes from the body and marked them. And
How did you mark them?
we marked them as 3-4 and 3-5 respectively.
Nti basobola n'okufuna engoye ku mugenzi w'omwana oyo nazo era ne bazimaakinga.
Other than marking, did you do anything else with the clothes of the deceased?
The clothes of the deceased were recovered for onward submission for analysis.
Era nazo bazitwala okubeera nga bazeekebejja.
What else did you do?
My Lord, within the compound, different stains of suspected blood were also uniquely marked.
How did you mark them?
We are marked as 5, 7, 8, 9, and 14 respectively.
Era yongedde n'agamba n'ebyo byali biteebereza okubeera nga gwali musaayi mu bifo mu compound awo babimakinga 5, 7, 8, 9 ne 14.
Repeat the marking.
The marking were 5, 7, 8,
The marking where?
5.
Under what paragraph is that?
You want paragraph 13.
Under what paragraph is that?
Paragraph 4.11.
Where I am not seeing 7 on the images. I'm seeing 5, 8, and 14.
My Lord, 7 appears very clear on page 9.
You're taking me back to page 9. I thought we were on page 13.
Yes, my Lord. However, we took photos from different angles. So,
Okay. So it is 5, 7, 8, and 9.
yes, my Lord, and 14.
And 14.
Okay.
Other than you marking the blood spots?
My Lord, we respectively swabbed the different spots and the swabs were marked.
Yes.
The swabs were marked as 5-1.
Which spot was marked 5-1?
My Lord, the spot was marked 5, but on swabbing, what we lift from the ground, we also awarded a mark, and we marked it as 5-1 from 5, from point 5.
Yes.
We marked 7-1 from point 7. I marked 8-1 from point 8, 9-1 from point 9, and 14-1 from point 14.
agambye nti n'ebyo ebifo ebyenjawulo bajjawo sample z'omusaayi ezo nga mu kifo ekya namba 5 ne bakimakinga 5-1, then mu kifo ekyomusanvu 8, 9 ne 14 nga era bwe bakola ku 5-1.
What else did you do, Mr. Mutaka?
My Lord, around the suspected blood stains marked as 14
Yes.
was a black sunglass. My Lord, there was a typing error. It's supposed to be sunglass, not gun glass. Which we measured its length, and with a length of 14 centimeters.
Yes.
And was marked as 14-2.
agambye mu kifo kiri eky'e14 basangawo galubindi ezaali enzirugavu era nazo ne bazikebejja ne bazipima.
14-2?
14-2 were the sunglasses which were found at that very point, marked 14.
Okay, so 14 is the blood spot.
Yes, then the sunglasses as
14 is the blood spot. 14-1 is the swab taken at the blood spot. 14-2 is the sunglass found at blood spot 14.
Mu kifo ekyo eky'e14-1 basangawo omusaayi, then eky'e14-2 basangawo galubindi ezaali enzirugavu ze baapima nga zaali sentimita nga 11.
Yes.
My Lord, on critical visual examination, this sunglass was observed with the suspected blood stains.
Yes.
My Lord, I attached 4 different photos clearly showing the details of the markings.
How many photos are there? 2.
And on page 13, I attached 4 photos, Madam, my Lord.
4 photos of what?
4 photos clearly showing the details of the different blood spots found at the scene.
What do the photos show, Mr. Mutaka? Beginning with the first photo.
The first photo shows.
What is the first photo?
The first photo shows.
What is the first photo? Is photo marked what?
Photo marked 14.
What does it show?
It shows both the blood spot and the sunglasses.
The next photo?
The next photo shows photo marked 14-2.
What is the next photo? When is the next photo? It is you to tell court what.
14-2. 14-2 showing the sunglasses.
What is the next photo?
Photo 8.
Photo 8. What does photo 8 show?
It's a mid-range photo showing 3 different blood spots at the scene.
Yes.
And then the last photo shows the close range view of blood spot marked 8.
Yes.
My lord, on page 14. Page 14.
Let him first interpret, please.
Agambye nti mwalimu agambye ku page ye 13 mwalimu ebifaananyi byali bina era mwalimu gaalubindi ezo ze batebereza nti kwaliko omusaayi era ze baamaakinga ng'ekifaananyi ekisooka bakimaakinga 14-1 era kwe baasanga awe wali omusaayi n'ezo gaalubindi. Ekifaananyi ekirala ekyokubiri we baasanga gaalubindi gye bamaakinga 14-2 then ekifaananyi ekirala gwe basanga byali ebitundu bisatu we bali batebereza nti ogwali omusaayi then n'ekifaananyi ekyali kye bali bakubye ng'omuntu abeera asembedde ebifo we batebereza nti gwali musaayi ne bakimaakinga 8.
Proceed, Mr. Mutaka.
My lord, on page 14, I also added other two photos showing the close view, photo 5 and photo 9.
What does photo 5 and 9 show?
Photo 5 and 9 shows the close range view of suspected blood stains dry at the scene.
Mr. Mutaka, did you do anything else?
My lord, paragraph 14.12, a black knife with one sharp end, black and silver handle branded Ming Feng kitchen knife was observed dumped outside the chain link school fence on the western side.
Agambye nti page eyo 14 yayongedde n'annyonnyola nti kuliko era ebyo ebifaananyi bye baakubanga omuntu abeera asembedde okuba ebifaananyi ekya namba 5 n'omwenda naye nga kyali kiraga ebifo ebyo baali bateebereza nti gwali musaayi ogwali kukaze. Ayongera n'agamba nti era waliwo n'akambeeredi ke baakwata nga kali wabweru w'ekikomera ekyo.
Mr. Mutaka, how did you discover that knife?
My lord, I was briefed by the caretaker that upon
Does the caretaker have a name?
the caretaker one Feibe,
Do you know the other name?
Namutebi Feibe.
Yes.
That upon the arrest of the suspect, the suspect threw the knife outside the chain link fence.
Yes. Upon receiving that information from Feibe, then what did you do?
My Lord, upon receiving that information from Feibe, I walked through, and using my visual ability, I saw the knife.
When you saw the knife, what did you do?
My Lord, after finding the knife, I photographed it in situ.
Where the photographs
The
reflected?
photographs are reflected on page 15. And I marked it 4.
You marked the knife photograph?
4.
Number 4.
As those two photographs, my Lord, are attached on page 15.
So did you take any measurements to determine the distance from where you recovered the knife, of where you recovered the knife from the structure or any other visible point at the scene of crime?
My Lord, I took the measurements. The knife was thrown 21 feet from the western side of the building.
From at what distance?
21 feet. From the western side from the western wall of the building.
About the knife itself?
My Lord, I measured the length of the knife, and it was 1.1 feet. My Lord, I also measured the width, which was 4 centimeters.
What was the width?
The width, my Lord, was 4 centimeters.
agambye nti yayogerako n'omukozi omu yali yalabira ekifo ekyo ayitibwa Namutebi Feibe, n'agamba nti omwami oyo we yali ng'akwatibwa oba suspect oyo nti akambe ke yali alina yakakasuka wabweru w'ekikomero ekyo, ng'era ye kennyini omwami ono ali wanawo obujulizi n'atambulawo akamba ako weekaali, era akamba ako n'akuba ekifaananyi kyako ng'era kisangibwa ku peegi ey'15 mu alipoota ye, era ekifaananyi ekyo n'amaakingako nnamba 4, ng'era akambe obuwanvu akambe weekaali n'okutuuka ku kikomera ku ssomero eryo ku luuyi olwa kkono wali wabalibwamu fiti nga 21. Then nayongera n'agamba nti n'akambe kennyini era yakapima nga kalinga sentimita nga 4.
What was the width of the knife, Mr.
My Lord, the width of the knife was 4.5 centimeters.
Akambe kali centimeters 4 n'ekitundu.
My Lord, we continue on page 17.
Any other observation?
My Lord, while at the scene, we recovered already.
Observation on the knife or something else?
My Lord, on observation of the knife.
No. The court is asking, is that observation on the knife or we are going to something else?
My Lord, I was moving to page 17.
So what did you observe on page 17?
My lord, on page 17, we already recovered items by the first responders.
Yes.
Namely, number 78, 76, 8, PC Omwa Aaron, a police officer attached to Uganda Police 99 unit.
Yes.
At KMP South, who handed over 2 black pieces of knives, each with a sharp end and a black handle.
What did he hand over?
He handed over 2 black pieces of knives. He handed over 2 black pieces of knives. Each with a sharp end, a black handle. These 2 knives had a brand name, Pigeon. With their blade inserted in a black plastic covers. And these exhibits were marked as 10-1 and 10-2 respectively.
Agambye ku peegi ey'17 mu alipoota ye, omu ku basirikale abaasooka okugenda mu kifo ekyo kye baazuulawo ayitibwa Omwa Aaron, omusirikale waabwe yasobola okusangawo obuwembe bwali 2 ng'era bombi bwali busongodde, ng'era obwambe obwo bano baali bakwata waali waddugavu, ng'era kwaliko n'erinnya eryali lisoma Pigeon, ng'era obwambe obwali buteereddwa ne mu kava zaawo mwe bubeera, ng'era akasooka bakateekako 10-1 akalala 10-2.
Mr. Mutaka, as a scene of crime officer, did you establish where PC Omwa had recovered these 2 items?
My lord, on interviewing PC Omwa briefed me that he recovered the 2 knives during the taking of the suspect from the sentry box to the police station.
You didn't answer the question. The question was where?
PC Omwa said he recovered them from the suspect, from the body of the suspect.
Nti ye yagambye omusirikale oyo nti obwambe obwo yabujja ku mubiri gwo suspect ye mwennyini.
Proceed.
My lord, on page 18, I attached a photo 10, with the detail of the 2 knives marked respectively.
As what?
As 10-1 and 10-2.
Ku peegi ey'18 yateekako ebyo ebifaananyi ebyo bwambe obwo 2 ng'akasooka ka 10-1 akalala ka 10-2.
What else happened?
My lord, on Roman 2, number RA 240609, Lance Corporal Mwima Derek Bryan, a UPDF soldier, My Lord, I'm on page 18.
I'm following you.
Number RA 240609. Last corporal name Derek Bryan.
You say it's a soldier, a UPDF soldier.
Attached to detached under Kabalagala division, handed over a black bag, a black medium-sized bag, ID branded bag. This bag was marked as X, and during the search of the bag, the following items were recovered.
Before you search, let them interpret.
Agambye ng'era akyali ku peegi emu ey'18 nti omusirikale oba omujaasi wa UPDF ali ayitibwa Derek Bryan nti yali akolera e Kabalagala nti yali yasanga ensawe eyali enzirugavu era ne bagimaakingako X ng'era bye bino bye yasanga mu nsawe eyo.
Now, whose bag was it?
My Lord, on interviewing Muima briefed me that this black bag was handed to him by the arresting people, by the security guards of the church who arrested the suspect. My Lord, the bag, Muima briefed that the bag belonged to the suspect.
Era omujaasi oyo yamugamba nti ensawo eyo yali ya suspect.
You say you marked the bag.
Yes, my Lord.
You don't just end up, yes, my Lord.
My Lord, on page 19, I attached photographs showing the bag and its unique marker X.
You marked it X. And then you are telling court that you searched the bag. What did you find when you searched the bag?
My Lord, upon searching the bag, I recovered a plier with a plastic red with plastic red and black handle marked as X-1. I also recovered a golden 263 padlock with 3 copies of keys attached to it and was marked as X-2.
Agambye mu peegi ey'19 gwe osanga ebifaananyi ebyo ebyali biraga ensawo eyo naawe bali bagimakinga X ng'era bye yazuula mu nsawo eyo yasangamu omwali mu magalo n'asangamu ne kufulu eyali eya gold nga kwaliko n'ebisumuluzo bibiri.
Did you find anything else in the bag?
My Lord, 3 strips of tablets branded Diclon containing packed in blisters jointly marked as X-3.
What else did you find?
My Lord, strip of tablets branded Panadol containing 3 tablets, 3 tabs, and 1 empty blister marked as X-4.
Nti mu nsawo era yayongera n'asangamu ddagala bubiri agabwali bumakingiddwa Eclon nga yamakingako X-3, then n'asangamu n'eddagala eddala erya Panadol zaalimu 3 n'amakingako X-4.
Did you find anything else in the bag?
My Lord, 15 surgical blades which were still intact jointly were marked as X-5.
Yes.
A red used erudite tube was marked as X-6. A red used erudite tube was marked as X-6.
Agambe n'obwambo obwali bukozesebwa obw'okulongoosa omutwe yamumakinga X-5, then ne tube oba olupiira olwali lwakiragala naye n'alumakinga X-6.
Yes.
A black piece of brush marked as X-7. My lord, it's a black piece of shoe brush. That's a typing shoe brush marked as X-7.
Yes.
My lord, a black Velano smartphone with the IMI 1. Black smartphone. IMI 1 V651W bearing MTN SIM card line marked as X-8.
Ayongedde n'agamba nti basanga ne brush eyali enzirugavu wa brush gyabakozesa okukuba engato n'agimakinga X-7, then ne basangamu n'essimu eyali eya smart era nayo yali enzirugavu nga munda mwalimu line eya MTN ne bagimakinga X-8.
Did you find anything else in the back?
My lord, a payment receipt of Ggaba Community Church bearing receipt number 2958 marked X-9.
Payment receipt
of Ggaba Community Church bearing receipt number 2958 marked as X-9.
Agambe nti byasangamu ne risiiti yali eya Ggaba Community Church, ye risiiti kwaliko namba yayo eya 2958 ne bagimakinga X-9.
Did that receipt bear any other additional particulars?
My lord, the receipt bear the names of Zurail or Newm. It also bared the sum of shillings, 190,000 shillings only. It also bared being payment of daycare fees, plus uniform, plus registration. It bared the signature, the date, and the amount in the figures, 190,000.
Which date was the receipt?
The receipt was dated 2nd of April 2026.
Agambe kwa risiiti eyo kwaliko amannya g'omwana oba Zuri Onyum, nga ku risiiti eyo kwaliko ssente omuwendo emitwalo gyali 19 eza Uganda, n'agamba nti ssente ezo zaali zasasudde okubeera nga balabirira omwana oyo, nga kwaliko n'eza uniform n'ez'okuwandiisa omwana oyo, nga risiiti eyo yali yawandiikibwa ennaku z'omwezi 2 Ogwokuna omwaka gwa 2026.
Was there any other item in that bag?
My lord, one pair of yellow-orange hand gloves marked as X-10.
What else?
My lord, a strip of Dicron tablet containing 8 tablets and 2 empty blisters was marked as X-11.
Tebasangamu ne giraavu ezaali eza kyenvu ne bagimakinga X-10 n'obulagala eddala tablet mwalimu empeke nga 8 nazo ne bazimakinga X-11.
And what else?
My lord, a black SIM button phone, a black SIM button mobile phone with Airtel SIM card marked as X-12.
Nesimu eyali enzirugavu yasimba mobile nayo ne bagimakinga X-12.
did you find any other item?
My lord, an empty plastic packet branded stainless steel blade with a price tag of...
We remember I advised that we are ready. So what else did you find?
An empty plastic packet branded stainless steel blade with a price tag of 11,000 marked as X-13.
Basangamu nakavera akali nga tekali mukyekye kalimu naye nga kamakingiddwako mitwalo 10,000 ne bakamakinga X-13.
So how did you handle the items recovered from the bag? The bag and the items recovered from it.
My lord, all the items recovered were accordingly packaged, sealed, and arranged for onward submission for analysis.
Is there any other thing that you did at the scene?
My lord, still at the primary scene, other exhibits recovered were a stained white and red flagged apron marked as R1.
Where have you gone? Which page?
I'm on page 23, my lord.
Can you just repeat what you said?
My lord, still at the primary scene, other exhibits recovered were a stained white and red flagged apron marked as R1.
Where did you recover that particular apron?
My lord, the apron was covered in the restroom, one of the restrooms. One of the restrooms of the kids.
Now, what do you mean by restroom? What room are you? I know it is capable of several meanings. What exactly do you mean by restroom?
A restroom, I mean a room where the young ones were taken to sleep over.
Gavumenti bamala bapakinga ebintu ebyo basuula n'asiringa era ne beetwala okwongera okubyeka ebijja naye nayogera n'agamba nti ebizibiti ebirala bye basangawo ka apron akali aka white n'ekiragala.
What else?
Era ke basanga kumpi ne ruumu abaana be baali bawumuzibwa.
My lord, a yellow long sleeved blouse also stained with the blood marked as R2. And a stained white round skirt marked R3 were recovered from the first children's resting room at the crime scene.
Nti basanga blouse yali empanvu waliwo neyali enyimpi empanvu bagimakinga R ey'okubiri nenda eri enyimpi ne bagimakinga R ey'okusatu.
My lord,
did you establish whose items these were?
My lord, these items were recovered from the caretaker, one Namutebi Feibe.
Nti ebintu ebyo byali byafulibwa omu ku bali balabira ekifo ekyo yali ayitibwa Namutebi Feibe.
Other than that, did you recover any other items?
My lord, inside the office of the head teacher, one receipt book of Ggaba Community Church was marked V2 and recovered.
Nti munda mu office ku basomesa yali akulira abasomesa baawo basangamu akatabo ka receipt era ne bakamakingako V2.
What else?
My Lord, the team later proceeded to Wenzi Medical Center, Ggaba.
When you said a team, you mean who?
My Lord, when I say the team, I mean I myself plus other circles whom I was processing the scene with.
Okay. So you went to?
We proceeded to Wenzi Medical Center, Ggaba. A secondary scene where 3 victims were conveyed, but later pronounced dead.
Agambye oluvannyuma bagenda ku ssine yali ey'okubiri ku ddwaliro erya Wenzi esangibwa e Ggaba gye basanga ba victim 3 oluvannyuma gye bama ne bagamba nti baali bamaze okuba nga bafudde.
Mr. Mutaka, why did you baptize this secondary scene?
My Lord, we called it a secondary scene because it is where other 3 bodies were found by the time of visiting the scene. Other 3 bodies were already